Hello, dear listeners. Today I have a real story for you, shared by someone who met Dogman or Werewolf versus Wendigo. Back in the winter of 2010, so this will be January, I stayed in a family-owned cabin for the entirety of the winter. This was up in the mountains of Colorado. I won't tell the area because I want to keep it private, but I can tell you, you get a lot of snow on average, so it's kind of more of matter of survival sometimes. I prepared beforehand and I packed as much as supplies as I could, just to see if I could last all the winter long, which I managed to, living off the bare necessities. And while not starving, surviving, just to see if I could put myself through it and survive. I'm no stranger to survival challenges, and this is one of many that I've done. But I'm not writing to you to boast about my survival skills or adventures, because during this time, January into early March, something much more grand took place around the cabin that I was at, which, by the way, is very desolate and very remote. There's nobody around, not a soul for miles and miles. It's even quite a trek to get up here, and as soon as snow comes, well, consider yourself lucky if you can make it. A snowmobile was pretty much all I have to get around, and that was when water permitted. Before doing this challenge, my family regularly keeps up on the cabin interior, exterior, roofing, and there's always a amount of wood to use for a fire. So I never had to go out and split my own. Thank goodness. But the woodshed, which held tons of and tons of wood, I don't know how many cords, but it's about 100 feet away from the cabin, which meant I daily had to make trips to take it for just to take it to have it cabin warm on a wood stove, which required heat and lots of wood. Was sometimes in early January, and I want to say it was evening time, and I can tell it was already dark. So the sun sets around 4:30. I was cooking a stew, I believe, when I began to hear horrible screaming coming from outside. I ran to the window and looked. I couldn't see anything. Even thought it was lightly snowing. It sounded like steel screams, hollering back and forth. It was bizarre. Imagine hearing the sounds of two dinosaurs fighting, or giants fighting. It sounded absolutely vicious. I have no other words to describe it. The noises went for quite some time, maybe about 10 to 20 minutes, on and off. I never saw what made the noise, but it sounded like an absolute war zone. Screams, cries, bangs, like something hard hitting a tree. I began to wonder if I was going crazy, or I was genuinely hearing two Tyrannosaurus Rex duking into it in the middle of Colorado mountains. Well, it eventually stopped, and it I can't remember the following morning or the morning after the following day, where I went out to get some wood for the fire and standing not too far was a tall human-like shape that looked very scrawny and unkempt from the waist down, but have huge oversized shoulders and large antlers, kind of like caribou. But because of the distance and how the sun was positioned, it appeared to be mainly a silhouette. It made me stop in my tracks, and I thought somebody, maybe an indigenous native or somebody, was out here covered in animal skins, but it didn't look right. It didn't look exactly human, and it was way taller than what a person. After studying this figure for a moment, I dismissed it. I went to grab a nice bundle of wood, and as I walking back to the cabin and just glanced over my shoulder out of curiosity to see if this figure was still there, or perhaps had moved closer, when I see the figure was gone. Where the figure was standing, even though it was on a hillside, there is no way it could have moved that fast against the white backdrop of the snowy mountains. I didn't see much of this. It was a little startling, but maybe I was just starting to become crazy. My eyes were just playing tricks on me, I assumed. The day went out of as normal, and for the next few days, I began to feel a growing sensation that I wasn't alone, that there were others around me, maybe people, maybe something more. I couldn't describe it. Then, that feeling began to turn into worry, and finally into danger. I just a matter of 3 to 4 days, as I felt whatever this energy was closing it on me. But yet after looking around of the windows constantly in the fear of that something or multiple things were coming after me, there was nothing but the beautiful backdrop of snow and the clear, crystal clear air of the mountains. I'd be lying if I say I didn't have bouts of insanity, or at least where I think I was insane. Maybe this was my shining moment, like the movie where the dad begins to lose it. Maybe there was something about this cabin. Those fears and thoughts were quickly put to rest, but what happened shortly after this, directly down south from the cabin, down the hillside, is a large aspen tree, separated from the others. I took a step out one afternoon just to catch some breath air, thinking I was literally going insane, when my eyes caught something that didn't quite make sense. It was a head peering out of the behind the tree, trying to remain concealed, but clearly visible from my standpoint. I don't think whoever or whatever was, but I could see it, was like a sore thumb. But did it make sense? The head that I was looking at me wasn't that of a person, like you probably expected to be, and it did not have antlers. It was the black head of a very large canine, except it was higher up from the ground. Was looking very frightening. That I can't stand more, like the meaning that the possibility of this of a person being bipedal, which is why at first I assumed it was a person, was all now real. I couldn't see any eyes or any discernible features, just the shape of a large dog, maybe a Doberman Pinscher, as far as shape relating to silhouette. But whoever it was very visibly watching me from behind this large aspen tree, maybe about 150 yards downhill. It kinda creeped me out. Now, I knew I wasn't crazy. I had to think of what I can do. I went back inside the cabin, kept the door locked, and I had to think much more methodical. How I can get wood. Was I even safe? I always kept a machete on me, just in case. Not necessarily to fight off bears or anything, but it's always good to have when you go into the wild. Even if I know I was staying in the cabin a majority of the winter, it was this moment right after I came inside that I realized my insanity wasn't necessarily insanity, but was something real. After seeing the gaunt figure with huge caribou antlers and this large Doberman Pinscher dog head not far off down the hill, what was happening? I contemplated this thrust the night, and it was very disturbing me. It was that night, I do remember, that I was awakened by something very large walking through the snow around the cabin, tapping ever so lightly against the wood, like it had nails, and it was just slowly dragging them, and sometimes I would hear grunts and snorts and sniffing, keeping me awake the entire night, because I'm a very light sleeper, and this just didn't allow me to fall into a deep sleep. So every time I would hear the slightest noise, I would hear this thing walking around all night long. I think this night was when I began to feel the pinnacle of my emotions, that I was truly in danger, and I was being stalked by some horrendous crazy mountain predators that I even didn't know existed. I couldn't ignore this anymore. This wasn't just somebody hunting in a costume or some crazy lunatic you'd expect to see in a movie with an axe. This was far beyond anything of my comprehension, and unfortunately, my story gets worse. The next morning, I remained pretty paranoid after the events of last night and the previous day. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but I had to get wood and maintain heat to cook and survive. If I didn't want to die of cold, I kept my machete on me all the times, constantly glancing over my shoulder, looking around me, acting like a paranoid schizophrenic. I wasn't exactly sure what this was the next day to bring, but fortunately, at least until about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, nothing. The other creepy thing is when I tried to scout around the cabin to see where this large shape or thing was walking around the night before, sniffing and grunting right where I heard it tapping against the walls. There was no point in looking for any tracks because it had continuously snowed, covering any evidence of being anything, and same thing looking for the tracks leading up to the cabin. The snow was fresh and anything that have remained was now buried and hidden. Fast forward about 3 p.m. of that day, and while I hadn't had anything else happen since, this was starts to begin ever more creepy. I start hearing my name being called from outside, far away. I couldn't even begin to tell the direction, but I heard my name called. It sounded like it was coming from the around the cabin, and not just in one direction, like a chorus of voices. But there was an e part I was able to recognize each voice was the voice of dead relatives. My great grandfather and great grandmother, my great uncle, and other relatives that have since long passed. I'm not exactly sure what was going on. Was I having a mental breakdown? Was being here for me too much to handle? Isolation breaking my mind? Was I having severity to sickness? No. I was fine up until I came here, up until the past few days when all this began to happen. After the voices went on for probably 10 minutes, over and over, calling my name, telling me to follow, I stepped outside to see if I can pinpoint the direction from where this was coming from. When I saw the same original figure I did on a different hillside, in about roughly the same distance as before, also just appearing as a dark silhouette with no discernible real features. A skinny gaunt figure that looked to be covered in animal skins, with very abnormally large shoulders, and a large head that appeared to be kind of like a caribou. And I don't know the head how was like, but the antlers were like that. There was oversight and huge. You can't imagine how the head can keep those up. Now, I was going from psychotic to freaked out and paranoid, to terrified and scared, and gripping the machete that I kept at my side even tighter if I ever had before. Running back inside, now I deem it not safe to be outside, period. The only reason I should step outside is just to take wood. I made sure to close every curtain in the cabin, which were only few windows. And that wasn't the problem. To make sure the both doors were locked. And stay low, hunker down. Read. Keep my mind as distracted as possible. But the noises, the voices, the haunting, the only ever persisted, worse as it ever has. And as the evening progressed into the night time, now I was hearing all sorts of disturbing noises. The sounds that had accompanied my cabin a few nights before. The thing walking around, sniffing, grunting, like it was looking for a weak point to get in. Not to mention the ominous feeling, the voices of my dead relatives calling me, trying to lure me out of the cabin, and just as soon as as it started, it all stopped. Suddenly, sometimes in the middle of the night. I had no idea why, or why the feeling of all the noises around me just suddenly went quiet. Then, maybe not even a moment later, noises began erupting off in the distance. That sound, like two Tyrannosaurus Rex duking it out. It was happening again. Only this time, it didn't sound like two giant reptiles fighting like it had before. But that could have been possibly just because of the distortion of the distance and the ambience of the environment around me. This sounded like the beasts and demons fighting for their only meal. It was completely vicious in every sense of the word. I didn't want to see what was happening, and let alone hear it. I was just too frightened. It stopped after about an hour of ongoing racket, and then that was it. In the rest of the night, it was dead silent. Nothing. You could barely even hear the breeze. I was too scared to even step outside to see if there have been anything would cause the noise. Well, to be honest with you, I ended up cutting the trip shorter than I expected. And instead of staying all the winter, like I had to do, I decided I wasn't safe here to be anymore. After this going for maybe 5 or 6 days in total, I needed to leave and abandon my journey. The following day, as I'm getting all my supplies ready to hop on the snowmobile and make down to the semi-civilization, things reappeared for a final time. As I'm getting everything ready, I looked up and I see that the same gaunt figure with the caribou horns, not far in the distance, on the same hillside as I originally saw it. Only this time it was moving toward me, not moving its legs as if it was walking through the snow, but it was gliding through the snow as if there was no resistance and nothing to hold it back from getting to me. Now I was terrified. I got ready as quickly as I could, which I had only few bags to put on. Once I started it and I began moving it at a fast speed, you're probably not going to believe this, but as I turned back, I saw at least or four of these giant black Doberman Pinscher looking wolves come out of nowhere or from behind the trees, wherever they were concealed at, and jump and leap right toward this gaunt figure. I turned back to where I was going and didn't want to watch what was about to ensue. The noises erupted again, of the same sounds that I heard the night prior. The eruption of violence, like wild beasts fighting in the night. That's what I must have heard. Two of these creatures, or demons, whatever they were fighting. I just remember thinking to myself on the way back down, I'm never coming back. This entire mountain, this entire place is cursed. With what? I don't know. But I never want to put a foot here back. After talking with my family, shortly after this, I pulled a few members aside and spoke in private about what exactly I encountered going up there, thinking I was just some crazy hallucinations of being isolated. But in reality, I told them that my fears became nightmares as I was so manifested into actual things that were the causes of my fears. They could do nothing but look down, remain quiet, while some of them told me they knew well those things was there, and that's the reason why they never go there for themselves. For and they didn't tell me never about this because they thought I would ridicule them. And in that cabin, my real instinct of survival was the most terrifying thing what I had in my life, and I never will go back there, not alone and not with someone else. Wow, so horrifying experience, real experience. Tell me, please, your opinion about this in the comments down below, and if you have an experience, please share with me. I will let my email address in the description down below. And thank you for listening. And please subscribe to my channel for more videos what I narrated myself, and I have other videos and interesting content of horror stories, of horror movies. And give a thumbs up if you like it. Thank you for listening, and stay safe. Bye bye.